What's up, squad? What's up, guys? What is going on, YouTube? What's up? So we got us the mega collab going on. We got six sports YouTubers in the house, 5 including myself. We will run them down for y'all. To my left, I believe that's going to be my left, and YouTube's right. Coach Plays. What up, Coach?
What's up, guys? Appreciate you having me, Bobby. It's always a great time to be on your channel, guys. I'm ready to sit in here with some awesome, great YouTubers and talk some sports, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Next to the coach, we got the resident New Orleans Saints fan, Pelicans fan, and LSU fan, Goose Sports. What up, Goose?
What's up, Bobby and the panel? How y'all guys doing tonight, man?
Pretty good.
Ready to talk some sports and DeAndre Baker and some spades.
Insert dirt face. Underneath me, the other Coach K, I should say. What up, Coach?
What's good, Bobby?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
How y'all doing? I'm trying to feed the hamster right now. It's not eating. So I'm trying to stuff food down its throat right now.
Next to the other Coach K, we have JDTV, a.k.a. JD Rants, resident Chicago Bears and Mavericks fan in the house. What up, JD?
What up? What's up, guys? What's up, Karam? What's up, everybody in the chat? Good to see you.
And next to him, finally, we have the resident Giants fan. Giants. Hey, I can't believe we got beat by Eli Manning twice in the Super Bowl. That still irks me, and it's been 10 plus years. It still gets to me.
Bobby, Patriots fans will point out, oh, we have 6, you only have 4, etc. And I'll just say, you know what? We took away the 18-0 season. You can say what you want, but I know that still gets you deep down.
Yep.
I will forever hate the Giants for doing that.
Well, I could be here.
All right, guys. So we're gonna do this roundtable style. We're gonna bring up a couple of different topics. We'll run them down. We will go in the direction of Coach K, Goose, the other coach, JD, and then Rich, or the sports reaction. And I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that. What's up, everybody? Mosh in the house, Rogue Dog, Karam, Isaac. I see you guys. Sand Creek, what's up? Midwest Sports in the house. What's going on, guys? So, why don't we start off with the newest bit of news that kind of dropped for the NFL? I know, Rich, you had talked about this a little bit, but let's start off with the newest kind of a little tidbit of news, and that is the DeAndre Baker and who's that? Quentin Dunbar, right? Quentin Dunbar, they apparently robbed a house party. They told the guests, I guess they robbed them at gunpoint. DeAndre Baker was the one with the firearm, I guess, and he basically told Dunbar to collect watches and money and basically just rob these house guests at gunpoint. I mean, that's, to me, that if the Giants, I don't know if it's on the docket, but I mean, do they cut them? Do they keep them? Do they what do you guys kind of feel about that, Coach? We'll start with you, man. What do you think?
They 100% cut them. I mean, you've got your whole life ahead of you, and you're in like the 0.2% of the population in America that actually gets to live out a dream and play in the NFL. And you're stupid enough to actually break into someone's house and commit that sort of crime, regardless of whether they play in the NFL or not. They should be charged with what they should get. But that's you're actually on this stage as an NFL player, and you're supposed to be role models and things like that, and then you still don't give a crap and you still do these things. No, there's way too many good football players out there. Way too many people who's doing it the right ways, who want to get a chance to get on NFL rosters. it's too much of a headache for these teams to keep someone like that. And so to me, you cut them, you wash your hands with it, you move on, you find another player who's going to be better because you don't want that crap in your locker room. I mean, it's just I don't see any sort of justification they could say, well, this is the reason why. No, there's no right reason why you would commit a crime like this. So if I'm those teams, cut, snip, I'm moving on. Y'all enjoy your time in jail. That's the way I look at it.
Goose, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure both these teams are doing their fact checking, just make sure they got all their ducks in a row before they make the decision of actually cutting them, because you don't want to cut them and not have all your facts straight. I mean, it's just you don't want to do that. But it looks like these guys are guilty of what they're being accused of, and yeah, I mean they need to be cut from the teams, not play in the league no more, no second chances after this. I mean, they need to be treated like an individual. Like if I did something like this, I'd be going to jail. I mean, it'd be no ifs, ands, or buts. No special treatment because they're an athlete and second chances. And it's not like they wouldn't smoke weed like Josh Gordon did, 100 times. But this is something serious, man. As someone who's been robbed before at gunpoint, this is it's not fun having a gun point in your head. And things. They need to suffer consequences, I think. Whatever that is. Go to jail for 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is. It's you don't do that, man. Especially people that they have millions of dollars, and supposedly they're fighting over 70 grand. Really? I mean, it's just I don't know.
He probably makes more than that in one game.
Yeah,
he probably makes that in one half, and you go and pull something stupid like that.
That's just this doesn't. When I first heard it, I was like, God, man, really? What's wrong with these athletes? Some of these athletes, they get upset. I mean, I don't know. And then they drove. I think they drove up in a Lamborghini. Like that doesn't sit like a sore thumb. So that's what I heard. They drove up in a Lamborghini. So
That's crazy.
crazy, that two athletes that's supposed to be role models, like Coach Clay says, to their respective teams and their cities, would do something like this. I mean, there's no defending that. You can't come out and say, "Oh, I made a mistake." I mean, that's not a mistake, man. That's more than just a mistake.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like you ran a red light.
If you got a DWI that's a mistake. I mean, that's a poor judgment. But this is beyond poor judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Coach K, what do you think, man? Did they cut him?
This is actually the first I've heard of it. I guess I live on a rock on this stuff, but I mean, I'll be honest. Like, this is the first time I'm hearing about this, honestly. And hey, dude, I'm just surviving. I'm just trying to, man.
Well, I will say
anyway.
this: you do live out in the middle of freaking nowhere in Texas.
Yes.
So
Yes, and I've
Sounds
had no
awesome.
I have had no internet for 5 hours, so whatever. Anyway, kind of echoing Coach and Goose's thing. Yeah, cut their butt. I mean, you really something like this. You really do not want your kids or players to idolize sport athletes. Or the best thing is to idolize the right guy, instead of idolizing dumb butts like this. Yeah, I mean, I think they should be thrown underneath the jail for something like this, man. I mean, to me, it's like you said, I just cut them. Cut them, wash your hands, and good luck. Hope you save your money.
JD, what do you think, bro?
I would say,
if you're the Giants, do you wash your hands of them?
Yeah, like if I'm the Giants executives, then to me it's innocent until proven guilty. I let the legal system handle it. That's one thing that I think the Patriots and the Bears do really well is they wait for the legal system to handle it. And if the legal system, obviously comes up into like say obviously these people did this thing, which it looks like they did, obviously, then yeah, cut them. I mean, if they're proven to have done this crime and this is a fact, then absolutely, there's no tolerance for robbing someone at gunpoint. Absolutely not.
And the resident Giants fan, Rich, I know you spent a little bit of time talking about this, and you spoke with OGR about it. So like, what's kind of the pulse of Giants? Giants fans, are you guys just like, let's wash our hands and move on, or are you going to give them that second chance, or what do you think?
In our live stream tonight, the pulse was definitely cut him. I've done a video already about this today, and I do believe in innocent until proven guilty. But right now, with an arrest warrant being issued, that means they have enough evidence to say DeAndre Baker's the guy, as well as Quentin Dunbar. The Giants, and I'm obviously personally connected to this, are starting with a new head coach this year with a young rookie quarterback. The last thing they need going into the next season, besides everything that's happening in the world right now, is a huge distraction and a whole bunch of DeAndre Baker hoopla. So I think they're going to come probably in the next 48 to 72 hours. One thing that I'd like to say is, Coach mentioned this and Goose touched on it. I don't necessarily think DeAndre Baker needed to be a role model. Players don't have to be role models. And the reason I have Eli Manning up here is not to troll you, Bobby, believe it or not. It's because this man was a role model off the field. But every player doesn't have to be that. What you do have to do and what you have to realize is when you put on a team's jersey, you are representing them, not just on the field, but off the field.
Yep.
And that's where I'm really angry with DeAndre Baker. This is not what the New York Giants organization wants representing him. Somebody holding up people at armed gunpoint. And this is the second gun incident we've had in 15 years. Baker in Plaxico Breast back in 2008 when he literally shot himself in the leg.
Yeah.
So, and on our way probably to maybe another second Super Bowl appearance in a row. So I think they cut him. I think they should cut him. And, honestly, the guy was an idiot. The guy fell asleep during meetings. The guy didn't know the playbook. I don't think he had the drive to be an NFL player, nor the smarts to be one, and he proved that he's lacking here with what he did the other day.
Yeah. But see, it's funny you brought that other stuff up because I was going to ask you, didn't hey, OGR in the chat with the super chat. What up, my man, OGR? He said, What's good? Thought I'd pop in. Well, thanks for stopping by, OGR. You the man. $4.99 super chat. Dono. Hi. Nice. Thanks,
Hi.
brother. Appreciate it.
I agree with what TSR said, though. They haven't proven they're worth the money. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he was a role model to begin with. Like you said, he missed meetings. Like, come on.
Rich, just to echo what you were saying, like, these guys are getting paid millions, and like for you to like fall asleep in a meeting and not know the playbook and not like that's basic. That's is like the most basic NFL player. That's like the most basic level of why you're there. Like, you're there to play a game and learn and get better, and you're like, so what? Like, talk about a waste of because he was good, man. He had a lot of like raw, untapped, good talent there, and just like the complete lack of drive is it's infuriating because you're paying these guys millions of dollars and there's no ambition to do anything.
I think he had the physical tools, but you can have all the physical tools in the world, but you got to have it here. I'm sure many of you are watching The Last Dance right now, and I didn't realize how ultra competitive Michael Jordan is. He wanted to win at everything, not just basketball, but baseball, golf, throwing quarters at a damn wall. It would make things up in his head just so he could beat a player the next time he saw them. That's a special type of personality. Maybe Jordan was a little unhealthy with his compulsiveness to win, but you got to have that drive in you to be better, to want to win, to want to get an NFL interception. DeAndre Baker had 0 last year, as much as all of us. He's never intercepted a ball in the NFL, and now he never will.
I know.
He just doesn't have it.
There's plenty of dudes in the league.
Talk about just a boneheaded, stupid mistake. Hey, Sand Creek Aquatics with the super sticker, $1.99 super sticker, super chatting. What's up? Hey, Sand Creek, thanks a lot, brother. Much appreciated. So we're gonna go with another we'll go with another NFL topic on this guys. So the there's been a lot of talk, about all these different the leagues coming out, and it's looking more and more like we're probably not realistically going to see fans in the stands of these NFL games for probably the foreseeable future, and probably this season. Do you guys think the season starts on time? Do you think that a lot of this mess is you think that they have, the NFL has a plan in place to basically, are we going to miss a couple games, or are we going to get this, or do you think the season's going to jump off to, is it going to just be, business as usual, just with no fans? Coach, we'll start with you, brother. What do you think?
I tend to think that the season is going to start on time, simply because it's the NFL, and as of right now, the NFL is showing that they've got a plan and that they are sticking to that plan. Now, of course, if we see a setback in in this COVID-19, then of course that can push everything back. But I do agree with you on. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see fans in the stands. And man, when this all started in March, of course you saw it happen with the NBA and NHL and stuff, but I thought for sure all of this would eventually be gone, especially by the time the NFL season wrapped around. I would be more concerned about missing games and missing times when it comes to college football than I am the NFL. I think now I could see a scenario where the NFL pushes it back a month if they need to, but if they push it back a month, I don't think they cancel games. Maybe they cancel a couple preseason games. Then I don't think the NFL is wanting to cancel any games at all. But at the end of the day, once we get closer and closer to this, it's going to be out of their hands a little bit. I mean, if this thing peaks up or spikes up, then their hands are going to be tied. But at the current state right now, the way I feel about it, I think we see NFL football games being played on the dates they should. But unfortunately, you're probably going to see empty stadiums, or maybe possibly, if things are headed in a positive direction, maybe we see like half capacity or maybe 1/4 capacity. It might only be where, only every other section. I don't know what they would do, but I feel like if they can find a way to get some sort of capacity of fans in the stadiums, they will. But I think for sure they're going to try to play these games, whether there's fans in the stands or not. I would be more concerned at the moment for college football because they have a lot more. Pros can just sign a waiver and say, hey, I want to play and I want to go. And we've already seen some players come out and say they will. Then we've seen some baseball players come out and say they won't. So, I mean, that might be a mixed bag. But I don't think college athletes will. They can't just sign a waiver. Like there's a lot more in ties with that. So I think the pros can start. And I would be more concerned if you are a massive college football fan, in my perspective.
Sorry, man.
Goose. I will.
That's such a nice day.
All right, man. I guess I'm
Goose,
next.
what do you got, bro?
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess we'll talk about college and NFL. I agree with the college. I think college football. There's like over 100 football teams in Division One. So it's NFL has 32 teams. They can kind of. I mean, NFL has a much more better chance to play than college. I think the Power 5 conference in college will play. I think there's just too much money that's going to be lost with these colleges if they don't play, because this football revenue that they get runs their athletic program for the year. It's going to be really interesting to see, especially these lower schools that that really depend on these football money. That when they go play LSU, they get that $1 million check. They go play a game, they're not going to get that this year if there's no football. But so we're interested to see what happens with college. But NFL, I agree. I think the NFL will start on time. I think the NFL will have no fans for the whole year. I don't think there'll be any fans at all, even the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to take a chance to maybe put 15,000 people in there and people get sick. Because if you put 15,000 people in there, what if somebody gets sick? That's going to shut everything down. And then it's really going to be in bad shape. So I think that the NFL will play on time. There'll be a full season, but I think there will be no fans whatsoever in that game. It's my opinion. And if college does, they don't have no fans as well. I think it's going to be that.
Sounds like Boba Fett.
Yeah, hey, your mic's something with your mic, bro.
Mine?
Yeah, someone's.
That got scary really quick.
Yeah, that did get scary. That was like the Conjuring or the Ring.
Do I have a ghost?
No, that's
around?
good. That's good.
That might
We're
have
good.
woke,
Okay, we're good now. Someone
might
had a
have
little
woke up
audio
TSR.
issues for a
Somebody
second there.
submit this to chill.
Do I have a ghost? I might have a ghost, and maybe Freddy Krueger's here coming to get me. Anyway,
By
so
the way
yeah,
that
so,
voice sounded, I wouldn't be scared about ghosts. I'd be scared about some demons.
yeah, demons, yeah. But yeah, I think there'll be no fans whatsoever in college or NFL, and it might be next year. I mean, let's say the NBA starts in December, I think there'll be no fans then. I don't think we're going to see fans until maybe next year, maybe the following year for baseball in April, maybe. I think it'll be then before we actually see fans in the stands.
And I don't want to interrupt anybody. But I think we all on this panel would agree that we want sports no matter what. But
if I gotta take it with no fans in the stands, as long as it's back.
But man, it is gonna be something extremely different to see no fans in the stands. And I think after all this is said and done, sports are going to realize just how important fans are to all of these major sports.
Yeah. Coach K, what do you got, man? What are your thoughts?
You know, I hope the NFL starts on time. I think it will, because the NFL is one of those things, it's a trickle-down effect. If the NFL doesn't start on time, that means, kind of echoing Coach Plays and Goose's point, college won't start on time. Well, if that happens, then probably you'll see high school football not start on time. And I'll be honest with you. Selfishly, the high school football, that's kind of mine and Coach Plays. That's kind of a big deal. That started. But I think the NFL will start on time without any fans in the stands. I mean, if you watched the UFC this last weekend or this week, it works.
Mm-hmm. It does. It works. They're proving
the UFC showed you can do this. You can have a good product, and it works without any fans in the stands.
Not to interrupt, but did you guys see how many buys it got on ESPN Plus?
Yes.
700,000 pay-per-view buys on ESPN Plus.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if you watch Wednesday's fight, Smith and Teixeira, I mean, again, another good product. Mm-hmm. I think the UFC is going to kind of set the standard of how you need to go about live sporting events. The issue you're going to run into is the locker rooms. That's a lot of people in confined spaces together for a long period of time. So, I mean, do you test every day, every other day? I mean, how will that work? And that's going to be interesting to see how the NFL handles that.
I would bet they sanitize before and after every game. I would almost be willing to bet they go in there and cleanse those locker rooms every time.
I'm talking about practice, the practice facility, and that facility too.
I got a few things on it.
Can I answer a question in the chat? I don't mean to interrupt.
Go for it.
Because Damien says, why wait until a cure to bring back sports? Well, there's never going to be a cure for this.
It's a
ever.
virus.
This is
It's a virus. There's never going to be a cure. There's only going to be a way to treat
This will
it.
be around forever. There's never going to be a cure, ever. So people that think there's a magic pill that's going to be taken, this will be eradicated, it's not going to happen.
That's why the flu's still around.
Body's going to have to build up natural immunities to it. So
Yeah.
that's what's going to have to happen. And unfortunately, people with underlying conditions are more susceptible to getting it and succumbing to it. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the situation. But yeah, there's never going to be a cure for this ever.
No.
So I just wanted to say that.
What do you think, JD?
The first thing I would say would be that I definitely agree that professional sports is going to have a much easier time doing this, and I definitely that was one of the points I was going to bring up was how well the UFC has handled it. NASCAR will definitely be another indication. I think that's this weekend. NASCAR that will be another one that we can look at. Another thing that I would say is that I would almost guarantee that someone is going to get it, like going to get the virus. So the fact that these are professionals, that is the reason why I think that it's not going to be a big deal, because they're going to sign a waiver, and if they get it, they get it. Like I think somebody on the radio was talking about, these are the prime athletes. These are prime of their life. Not to say that it's not still deadly. It is, but it's millions of dollars are on the line. And what I will say is also, and I have a video about this actually, but the essence of that video is that like the NCAA is right now, as far as sports goes and revenue, it's a nightmare scenario from all corners. I mean, college basketball, the G League is taking all their stars away, and now football. If you think that them making money off of those players now during a crisis, like you're not going to be able to get away with that, in my opinion. Not that like they're exploiting them. They'll probably sign waivers too, but they're students, so they can't justify this amateur thing anymore. Professionals, you totally can. But anyway, that was my point I was going to make about that. College is going to have a hell of a time. I agree with you guys.
Rich, what do you got, man? What do you think?
Everybody's pretty much covered everything, and big UFC fan, watched the last two events, and UFC's doing this right, but we can't compare these other sports to the UFC because everything is going to be a sport by sport basis. The UFC has 2 guys in the octagon. The football field is going to have 55 players on each sideline. The NBA has more contact than probably any other sport besides UFC. Physical contact, where they're all going to be touching the same basketball, sweating on it, getting up and picking each other, and just there's going to be a lot of contact there where things can happen. It's going to be case-by-case scenarios. The NFL, they're all going to be wearing gloves. They're going to have, not wearing a mask, but they're going to have a big old helmet on their head. So that's going to be one of the sports I think that's going to be able to pull this off. I think they start on time because of the fact they're already kind of protected. Yes, there are a lot of people in proximity, but they can find a way to kind of, like Walmart, when you go shopping, there's little lines. Don't be surprised if you see on a football field where instead of yard markers, right across from them, there's little 6-foot increments. You all got to be 6 feet away from each other, et cetera. And if a trainer or coach needs to talk to a player one-on-one, they're probably going to have a face mask on. But I think with all the brain power and money the NFL has, they'll find a way to make it work. My biggest concern is the NBA moving forward because of all the close contact.
Yeah. Any of the Rich, I'm with you. Any of these sports where they have pads like separating, it's not like the NBA is going to be tough because it's literally direct contact. Like there's no separation between people. Excuse me. Yeah, like NBA is going to be tough. If the NHL could ever figure out a plan, I think they could come back as well because once again, there's that pad separation. I know they hit each other, but once again, it's the locker room with them is going to be the biggest problem. How do they keep the locker room sanitary? It's not. I do think there's a level of separation there, but I'm with you on that, Rich.
I want to throw something at real quick with the NHL that just popped in my head. Is there going to be a problem from players traveling from the United States to Canada and vice versa?
I think they're going to keep them in one. They're going to try and create some sort of a little bubble safe zone, where they have the teams stay and they play something around that.
And if that's the case, these players are not going to be able to go back to their homelands and play for their respected teams, anything
Nope.
like because a lot of these players are from different countries, and that gets into a whole nother basket of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Luka
So one
Doncic-
last football question for you, gents. I want you to pick the top 3 teams that had the best draft and the bottom 3 teams that had the worst draft. So the top 3, the teams that you think had the best draft, the teams that you think drafted bad.
Glad I'm going last.
If you are, well, we can.
We should snake this one.
I'm scribbling.
TSR has had to wait these last.
All
few
right, so
questions.
we'll
Let's
go
let him
snake.
go
So
first.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Rich.
I like that idea.
Go ahead.
Gosh. I'll tell you who I don't think had a good draft. Off the top of my head, the Eagles, because the wide receiver they wanted got sniped in the first round, CeeDee Lamb, and then they took quarterback in round 2, which I know Carson Wentz is fragile, but I don't know what the message that they're trying to send their team with that or him.
Fragile.
I tell you one thing, I might
So
be in
who
the
got, like,
minority, but I love that pick.
Which one?
I love Jalen Hurts' pick. I might be in the
it's-
minority, but I think that pick
it's
is
an
going to
insurance.
help them out.
It's an insurance
Yes,
policy.
because if there's one thing Carson Wentz has proven in this league is that he ain't playing 16 games.
As a Giants fan, instead of doing top 3, because
How about the two best and 2 worst? Can you do that?
I'm going to stick with my division because I think that's going to be easiest because I think we're all kind of representing different divisions. I mean, we got Titans, Saints, Giants. We got a good mix of divisions. So I'm going to look at my
All
division.
right. We'll do that then. We'll go that route.
I think, again, the Eagles probably, at least I think their draft was not great. The Redskins, I mean, they got Chase Young. They got many analysis put him as the best player in the NFL draft. No matter what their other draft picks do, if they have a franchise defensive lineman that's going to wreak havoc in the NFL for the next decade, they're set. Now, the Redskins can find a way to screw things up and have him on another team in 4 years. That's just what they do. But I think they had a good draft. The Giants, I think, had a good draft as well. They addressed the offensive line multiple times. They drafted maybe a few too many linebackers. And the Cowboys, I wasn't crazy about the CeeDee Lamb pick because they already have 2 very solid receivers, but they now have a solid 3rd receiver, and they hurt the Eagles. And that, in the end, is a win-win. When you can draft the best player available, that's still going to help your team, but hurt a division rival, that's the ultimate win-win. So I think across the board, the division did fairly well, but I do think the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Redskins are all kind of in there like this, but the Eagles, I think, had the worst draft in the division.
What do you think, JD? What do you got?
So I'm going to start with my worst because I don't really know the best ones that much. I would say that because it's hard to say, obviously I'll wait till preseason before I really start to say who won the draft. But my preliminaries would be the Texans. That's number 1. They're the worst because I defended Bill O'Brien's trade for DeAndre Hopkins in the 2nd round pick and everything for one reason and one reason only. One reason and one reason only. He got a higher 2nd round pick, and the wide receivers in this draft are incredibly good. There's a really, really good wide receiver draft. And guess what he didn't do? He didn't get a wide receiver for that pick.
He didn't pick a wide receiver. Yep.
He's a dumbass. So I will just say he is a complete idiot. Bill O'Brien's a complete moron. I don't defend him at all in any means. He got rid of Hopkins for absolutely no reason at all. He's a dumbass. So they're number 1 fools. And I would say that I didn't like that the Patriots didn't draft a quarterback. I don't think that Stidham is the guy. They should have drafted at least someone just to have him. Maybe not. Maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. But
they signed an undrafted quarterback. They did.
Okay, maybe.
But that's
okay.
But that's like a no. Yeah, that's
maybe.
I get what you're saying.
We'll see in preseason. We'll see what we got here. But at the same time, I think that the Packers. I don't know how I feel about the Jordan Love thing. I'm scared to say it's bad because it could bite me in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, what if he's really good? But at the same time, it didn't help them right now. And the people that needed receivers didn't get them. That's kind of where I'm just like, that was my take from this draft. People that needed receivers didn't care to get them. So, wealthy got wealthier.
Rich, I thought Judge did a pretty good job. I did. I thought.
What would be Dave Gettleman doing a draft?
I think did the two of them work together? Did the two of them work together or no? Did Judge and him work together, or was it Gettleman? Because if it was just Gettleman, then he drafted pretty smart. I'll give the Giants that. They drafted pretty good.
I wonder what TV said real quick. The Packers pick of Love at quarterback was a surprise. But I'm going to look at history with the organization. How many football teams out there can say we had a Hall of Fame quarterback, Brett Favre, replaced by a Hall of Fame quarterback, Aaron Rodgers?
It's infuriating.
It's a rarity. I mean, they went from Montana to Young, so I don't know if Love's going to be that guy, but maybe they see something in him. And sitting under Aaron Rodgers for 2 years, not the worst thing for a young quarterback to do. So, they're taking a chance, and so far it's paid off from the past. You got to think it's going to work again.
That just tells me that Rodgers is done after 2 years. I mean, unless Jordan Love is a complete bust. It's either Jordan Love, if either he pans out and Rodgers is done in 2 years, or Jordan Love's a bust and they'll trade him.
Did you
Rodgers
say
is going to be like 36, and he is a bit injury prone, so I don't think he's going to have the longevity of Tom Brady.
That's a really good point.
Rich, did you say that, like, some of these quarterback drafts were like subliminal messages for some of these people? Because it's like, to me, the Jalen Hurts one, dude, that's a shot across the bow of Carson Wentz. It's like, look, dude, we need you for 16 plus games, and if you can't get it done, we're gonna, that's a shot across the bow and a wake up call. And it's the same thing to me. The Jordan Love pick is the same thing. It's a shot across the bow to Aaron Rodgers. It's like, look, like you need to do better. It's a shot across the bow to these guys, to these guys. I think I don't know if they did it intentionally, but that's kind of
not a good message.
Rodgers is on the wrong side of 30. He's now on the wrong side of 35. So I don't think that one's so out there. Like, it's time to start preparing for the replacement in the next couple years. But Carson Wentz, I don't think he's even 30 yet. The thing with Carson Wentz, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, he's never won a playoff game. Nick Foles has won all the playoff games with the Eagles since Wentz has been there. He's always hurt. And that might be the Eagles organization saying, hey, you're hurt again.
We got him.
What's that?
So we got Foles. Let's go. Woo!
Be interesting to see how it plays out.
Coach K, what do you think, man?
Well, I'm gonna save this one. Me and Coach Plays, we're both Titans fans, so I'll let him have that one. But I'll just come on this. To me, this is the first draft in a long time. The Titans, I loved it overall. It's been a long time before I can say that as a whole draft for the Titans. I really did love it. But to me, the team with the best draft is the freaking Ratbirds, the damn Ravens. They had probably one of the best drafts. They took a really good team and made it a lot better. And they did it in, the later rounds, man. The damn Ratbirds. But, the Ravens, to me, I thought they had the best draft overall, honestly. The Bengals the Bengals will be dictated on whether they can protect Joe Burrow or not. Their draft was getting off top. My bad. I like the Burrow pick. I like that they got Burrow a weapon to throw to. So I thought that whole division, the AFC North, did a pretty good job of drafting. But you have two really good organizations and two organizations that are like dumpster fires waiting to happen. But overall, honestly, I thought the AFC North had a really good draft from top to bottom with those teams. But again, I think the Ravens probably had the best draft overall.
See, that's they're top two for me. I hate to say it because I can't stand the Ravens.
Oh,
but
the damn Ratbirds, man. The damn Ratbirds.
They drafted really well though. They did. I hate the Ravens so much, but they had a really good draft.
Oh yeah.
I'm worried Burrow's getting blocked. His old line is like a bunch of cardboard cutouts, man.
Well, the good thing about Burrow though, he's tough. I saw him take some shots at LSU his junior year that he shouldn't have gotten up from, and he got up and finished the game.
Yeah, there were times where I saw Burrow get buried, and he's a tough kid. So it could, I mean, but it's one of those things where you don't want to expose a quarterback like that, because look at what it did to Daniel Jones at times with that Swiss cheese offensive line. He was, at times you could tell Jones was scared for his life, like going back to he was petrified on a 3-step drop trying to throw the ball because of that Swiss cheese O line.
Or
Dude,
you just look at you look at Carr with the Texans when the Texans first started. You know, he got beat up so much. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Chad Pennington. You guys remember Chad Pennington? He was solid for like 4 years, and then all of a sudden sucked.
Yeah,
It's on the ground too much. Andrew Luck, another good one. Rest in peace.
but here's the thing I will say this with a halfway decent offensive line in front of him, and what Daniel Jones showed, you know, what he could do with a patchwork line. I think with some time in the pocket, I do think you'll get. I think the Giants fans are going to get much better results this year out of him than they did last year.
He's like as athletic.
Preach on, brother.
He's like as athletic as Trubisky. Only he can throw.
But that's what dude, Jones has showed in bits and pieces, like 6 or 8 minute little snippets of games, what he can do with a halfway decent line. Like when he has time in the pocket, he's a smart kid, and he can throw accurately. And when you combine those three, I think the Giants fans are I think they're gonna see much improvement out of him this year.
Bobby, if I may, real quick, Jones has gotten a lot of hate, and then we'll get keep moving around with the draft. He's been made fun of. Yes, he turned the ball over a lot. He fumbled a ton. That can be corrected. A lot of players have fumbled early in the career and have corrected that. I want you to take into consideration he started 12 games, threw 24 touchdowns against 12 pickles, which is pretty good. He had a makeshift offensive line all year, and he never had his full complement of offensive weapons the whole year. Golden Tate missed 5 games. Evan Engram missed half of the season. Sterling Shepard missed 6 games. And Saquon Barkley was compromised probably for about half the season, including missing 3 games. A fully functional Saquon Barkley, I'm sure you all would agree, is probably a top 3 running back in the NFL. Yeah. When you have a weapon like that in the backfield, the defense has to key in on him. So it's going to set up the play action. He has amazing chemistry with Darius Slayton after only 1 year, both rookies. I agree with you, and I'm not just being a homer. I think if he can correct his fumbling issues and the line can protect him better, he can be a top 10, top 12 quarterback in the NFL.
I think he's going to end up at the lowest this year. I think he'll be top 15. I think he'll be top 15. I mean, look at the teams. Look at the teams that are struggling at that position. Like, there's a lot of teams right now that are struggling with the QB position, and it's gonna take years to find a guy. By the way, all of you are fucked anyways next year because #tank for Trevor.
I don't want to hear it. Shut up, Bobby. Don't you put that juju on us. Don't you put that juju on us.
I think if they tank, they would never get their culture back. I really do. I really think if they tank, they would never. If they go 8-8 and you fight really hard, you'll maintain the Patriot culture. If you tank, culture's out the window. It's gone.
It's not. Listen, Belichick. I say that as a complete troll. Belichick is chasing multiple records. There is no way that he is going to let that Don Shula overall win record go. He wants that record more than anything. And
Plus, he could trade up.
It's going to take at least double-digit wins for the next 5 years to get close to him. So there's And I just think that if there's one thing in the world that Belichick hates more than anything, it's losing.
If I'm Belichick, I'm on the phone with Oliver Luck and saying, "Listen, dude, listen. Tell your son that I'll take care of him. He won't ever see the ground. He'll be like Tom Brady. He'll play
Begging Andrew Luck to come back.
Because that's the only team I could see Andrew Luck actually going back to. Maybe like him or 2 other teams.
All right, so Goose, what do you think, man? Who do you think had the best, and who do you think had the worst draft?
Okay, well, I mean, teams that had good draft. I think the Bengals had a good draft. I really did because they got Burrow and they got T. Higgins. Now the question is, can they protect Burrow? Can they give him time? I think they. I mean, I got to look more into the defense, but they have a lot of weapons on offense. They got Joe Mixon at running back. They got T. Higgins. They have some good weapons on offense. If you can look at it, it's just can they protect Joe Burrow? Can they give him time to throw the football? And that's going to be the question for the for the Bengals. I thought the Eagles had a bad draft because of where they picked Jalen Hurts. I think a second round pick needs to play. I mean, you're picking somebody in the second round. I think he needs to play. You can't sit on the bench because Jalen Hurts is going to sit on the bench unless he plays, unless he gets hurt. I mean, if they had picked Hurts in the 4th round, nobody would have said a word about it. It'd have been, oh, that's a good pickup. I think where they got him, I think that's where some fans have an issue with. I thought the Raiders had a weird draft. I think Arnett was kind of a weird pick for them. They did get Ruggs, but the Ravens had a good. They got the guy I wanted, Patrick Queen. I wanted Patrick Queen for the Saints, but Saints went a different direction. It worked out for the Saints because they got their linebacker and their center. It worked out for them, but also the Packers. I think the Packers. I mean, I say Packers because I think it's a bad. I thought they were going to give Rodgers some weapons in the receiver route, but they didn't go that way. They went the quarterback. So that just tells me that they're probably going to move on from Aaron Rodgers, whether it's next year or the year after next. I think this is going to be Aaron Rodgers' last year in Green Bay. I think they're going to do what they did. I think they're going to do what they did with Brett Favre. You know, they made a decision with Aaron Rodgers to be their next quarterback, and they let Brett Favre go away. And they moved forward. They won a Super Bowl. It worked out for them. I think Aaron Rodgers is going after this year. It's my opinion. So, it's my opinion. I could be wrong, could be right. I guess we'll see. But
Coach,
come to Chicago.
What do you got, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of y'all hit on a lot of the teams. I thought, once again, like I say, I thought the Ravens probably, unfortunately, had the best draft, and I hate to say that. I think we all hate the Ravens about the same. While I did like the pick of Jalen Hurts for the Eagles, I think the Eagles really missed out on not being able to get one of the top elite wide receivers. They took the TCU kid, and I thought that was a mistake. So overall, I didn't really like how the Eagles drafted. I did a couple of teams that I thought stood out. I thought the Vikings had a pretty good draft. I like the pick of Jefferson to help fill the void of losing Stephon Diggs. But one team that, and like say, as Coach Cates said, I thought Tennessee Titans did pretty solid. I think what helped out the Tennessee Titans, I felt like the Texans were trash in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Jags are still trying to do. And I mean, the Colts are solid, but I don't know. So, but the one team that I didn't hear that I think needs to get a little bit of praise, and if someone said it, sorry, I missed it. But I thought the Miami Dolphins are really making strides. And I don't know if it's this year, but I do think we're going to see an uptick this year. But the Dolphins are coming because I think they got the right head coach over there. Yep. And I think they're building pieces. They might have had to take a step or two back, but that step backwards is going to allow them to go 3 steps forward. And if they can keep Tua healthy with the O-line pieces they got and getting some targets around them, maybe we might be seeing a rise of the Dolphins. But I do think they had probably a really good draft. I don't know the last time we could say that the Dolphins had like a really good draft. I thought they did well. They had a lot of picks, and I think they got a chance to hit on a lot of them.
Yeah. All right, so we'll we'll switch the order up now too. We'll switch the order up a little bit. The next question for you, Rich, I'll let you go first. I want to ask you guys. So, this is coming out of this is coming from Yahoo Sports. There's an article put out, and it's basically says Sam Adams again. It basically states that the argument now for the NBA is revenue versus the player safety. It's when is it where's the line? Where's the line that you draw where it's like, if we're not making such and such money, like is it what I'm asking is it basically, is it going to be feasible and worth the NBA coming back to restart their season? Because here, these small market teams, I'm not talking about the Celtics, the Lakers, the Knicks, I'm not talking any of these big, large, because the small market teams, those big market teams, their big revenue is ad revenue. It's the commercials that they charge people $5 million to run a 30-second commercial. But these smaller venues like the Portland Trailblazers, like the Orlando Magic, they rely heavily on the gate revenue. The fans. Is it so? What my question to you all is it? And now, because they're so worried about this, the players have had to take a 25% decrease in pay already. So they're already taking a 25% pay cut. So is it worth? Do you think, is it worth it to the NBA for them to come back? Do you think they can do it safely? And is it financially worth them? Do you think they'll end up coming back? I'll start with you, Rich.
Yeah, we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. I think this season gets canceled. There's about 19 regular season games left, plus all the playoffs. It's May 15th. Right now, we would be in the midst of the NBA playoffs. We'd be halfway through with the conference finals starting in, 2 weeks? And then the NBA finals starting in about a month. Could they cut the regular season and just start the playoffs now? They could, but there were a lot of teams in the 8th spot, 9th, 10th spot that were really contending there, and that would be unfair to them, but it'd also be unfair to the teams that were ahead of them. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Everybody's losing money with the outbreak. I don't see them coming back. And if they're talking about not starting baseball until July, because that's when they feel like it's going to be safe, whatever it may be, I don't want to see the NBA resume in July. These players just can't come in cold off their couch and get in there and play a 30 to 35-minute game. That's how you get injured. And that's the last thing we need is all the top players going down with injuries because they've been sitting at home, not going out, not practicing, etc. There's a reason you have a preseason. And then if you do start the season June or July, you're going to have the season run until August, September. What happens with the following season? Do you move that back? I think you just got to count your loss and say, hey, the season's over. We'll look forward to next season. And if they end the season now, instead of trying to fix this season, they could prepare on how they're going to operate next season in the COVID era. Why not spend time on focusing on that and being ready to start in October instead of trying to fix what's pretty much already lost?
It's kind of greedy too, because it's like clearly they're like, JD, I said it to you. Remember, I said it to you. If there's money to be made, they're gonna try and they're gonna.
Yeah.
And I mean, I say this, if they can do it safely, you know what I mean? Like it's.
There's a lot at stake.
Yeah, I think Adam Silver put out a press release or something that they would lose like a billion or $2 billion if they canceled the season. I think it's 1 or 2 billion that they would lose between ad revenue and gate money and jersey, like everything include, like that's a lot. That's a lot.
Dude, I don't think they're going to cancel it. Mark Cuban had something to say when he was, I forgot where he was on, but Mark Cuban was, I saw someone with him, and something that he had talked about was potentially having all of the players quarantined for a few weeks. And this is actually, it would be in July. It would be around June, July time. It would be in a month or so, 2 months. And the reason why is because they've already postponed next season into December 25th. So like next season doesn't start in November. It starts in December, or actually it doesn't start in October. It starts in December. So that's a whole 9 weeks that you can work with extra, so you can push it back. Is it ideal? No. Is it realistic? Sure, because it could be like a Big Brother situation where they have all these people in this facility. They have everyone quarantined in the facility, all necessary people that they need, the refs, the players, everyone. And it could be in, like you said, the small market teams. That's not something I think about a lot with the small market teams. Is it worth it for them? Maybe not, but I agree with what TSR said. I don't think that you should just come in to the playoffs right away. You definitely should have a few exhibition matches, maybe just between the playoff teams, have a few exhibitions, and have this Big Brother reality star where, okay, this team lost, so they're gone now. You could actually do that. You talk about a couple $1 billion, you could make like $10 billion doing that. The ratings would be ridiculous. Everyone's at home. So I think it'll happen. Is it selfish? Maybe, but it's professional sports. It is what it is.
Coach plays. What do you got?
Yeah, man, I think the more we get into this, the more I just don't know, because TSR makes a lot of good points, and I think GD does too. But I think if the NBA has a plan to push back next year's season to maybe the start date of Christmas, I've heard some rumors about that. If they do that, then yes, they can push this thing back to July. But if they're not wanting to do that, if they're not wanting to either, trim the season down or push it back, then,
There's going to be no summer league.
Yeah, we're right at that time where we either need to get this thing going or it's going to have to be called. And like I say, these guys they're going to have like a mini little training camp before they get going. So with every day that goes by that there's not a definite answer, hey, we're starting on this date. Unfortunately, I feel more and more like we're just going to scrap these seasons and just move on, and it's going to be in for the. And also another thing that's alarming to me that makes it feel like we're not going to get these seasons is I think we're going to start seeing what we've already seen a little bit in the MLB is a little bit of pushback from the players, whether, if they're not getting their full pay, then they're not coming back. And all of a sudden, if you got quite a few stars that don't want to come back, you might as well scrap it because you could find yourself in a just a huge debate over money and things like that. And I mean, that's a tough line, and I don't want to offend anybody to say, they are risking their lives or they're risking their families' lives by going out there and playing with the potential virus. But it is, to me, like I watched First Take today, and Stephen A. Smith, while I don't agree with a lot of stuff he said, he was attacking, I forgot his name, on that one baseball player. He was like, look, you make $14 million a year. It might not be a good time to be coming out and saying, I got to get mine, when other people are out there who have lost all their paychecks and they ain't making nowhere near. But, I mean, like say, just because the guy makes
That's one of the only times that I've probably agreed. Like, you want to talk about the whiniest, babyest, bitchy, like diva, like, dude, baseball players are the bitchiest, most diva, like, come on, guys. Like, your contracts are fully guaranteed, fully guaranteed.
And
the
so
the NBA players just had to take a 25% pay cut. Like, shut up.
And like say, so far, you can go.
Well, I was just gonna say they all like went on a live thing, Zoom or whatever, and we're like, "Hey guys, like, what are we gonna do?" And then they all agreed, "Let's take a pay cut." MLB is like, "No, we don't know about that."
Yeah. So I mean, I worry that, And like I say, good thing is we haven't heard any NBA players coming out against this. But then if the NBA all of a sudden comes back and say, hey, we might have to cut it down to 50%, and then all of a sudden that could change everything. So I just think if we're going to get this thing started, we better be hearing something soon, or I think TSR is going to be right. I think we're getting closer and closer to them just scrapping it.
Yeah.
Got to be soon.
Goose, what do you got, man?
All right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, baseball. I mean, I'm for basketball. Now I've been saying for weeks now, multiple weeks, that I think NBA's been done. I mean, they've been hush hush for weeks now. Now they finally start now. Now there's some talk about maybe resuming the season. Finally, they were going for weeks, not saying a word. But I mean, if nothing's happened by June 1st, I think it's done. If there's no talk about, okay, we're gonna start a mini preseason to get these guys in shape, because come on, how many of these players are actually training at home? Probably.
Only
I think didn't Giannis say he don't have a goal at his house?
Yeah.
I think Giannis said that he doesn't have a goal.
That's just failure.
Huh? KD?
No, I was going to say that's just not thinking like a champion. You got to, if you're a basketball player.
Say that?
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know if he said that. I never heard that. I'll look it up.
It was somebody who said they don't have a goal at their house, and I thought, wait a minute. I mean, what do you do in the off season, like before training camp or whatever? But I still say the NBA's done. I don't think they'll come back, because for one, they can't finish the games that are missed. That can't happen. There's too many games to be played in a short amount of time. Where are you going to play them? Where are you going to play them? When? And how are you going to determine who's going to be the top 8 seeds? Like Rich said, there are some teams fighting for that 8 seed that were only a few games out of Memphis in the West. So I think the NBA and NHL, unfortunately, are done until I think the season will start in December, regardless of when the NBA decides what they're going to do for this season. I think they are going to push the season back to December, which they should, to not really, because during football, especially in the South, in football season, nobody goes to Pelicans games when the Saints and LSU's playing. Nobody does. So pushing it back to December will probably help the Pelicans' attendance, especially early on in the season. It's better. I think it's better for the NBA to start in December, because I think with Christmas Day they always have those 5-6 games in a row. Like I said, yeah, I'm still standing by the NBA is not going to play until next season. It's just my opinion. But opinions like asphalt, everybody has one,
That's a fact. And they all stink, except
And
for
they all
Pat's fans.
stink. Right, they all stink.
I like that.
Coach K, what do you got, brother?
I kind of listen to y'all. I'm not a big NBA fan personally, so to me, it's like,
Oh, you're fired.
It's all right. I'll be all right.
Fire 'em.
I'm not a huge NBA fan. I'm a big Spurs fan. I enjoy watching the Spurs, but I will not sit down and watch an NBA game. if
So
the
just to
Spurs-
interrupt you real quick, Coach K, TSR is a Spurs fan as well. So
30 years of Spurs fan, bro.
yeah,
Go,
yeah.
Hey, go Spurs, go!
Go Spurs, go.
All right, sorry about that. That's awesome. That's made my day right there. But anyway, if the NBA does come back, I can see them just saying, "Hey," and again, as a Spurs fan, I want us just to blow the shit up, blow it up, and try to get in the lottery and get one of those top 5 picks and get a star. Because here's the bottom line, what sells tickets? Stars sell tickets, and if these stars, like what was mentioned, get hurt because they rush back, it's not going to be good for the game at all. And again, I think if they do come back, can you see, and I'm asking y'all this, can you see like a 3-game series up into the finals and a 5-game series? I mean, like shorten the playoffs. Could you see that?
I wonder if they do that, if they shorten the playoffs.
I mean, that to me that would make the most sense. Of let's get this
Like
thing
turning
over.
5-game series into
Yes.
turning 7-game series into 5.
Into 5 and I know they don't do the 5-game series anymore, but go back to the old. Maybe even go like best of 3.
Best of 3 and best of 5. Yeah.
Yes, I mean just shorten the playoffs, and so they can get an off season. I mean, but again, I don't know. Again, selfishly as a Spurs fan, I hope they just, if they do go start the playoffs, start it. Hopefully, we get a lottery pick and go. But I mean,
Now, as a Spurs fan, Rich, do you have something you'd like to add, or?
I do. Well, if the season was canceled, we have a 22-year record we're tied with for consecutive years in the playoffs. And if the playoffs are canceled, that record technically would still be intact. One thing I want to talk about that the other coach said that's very important with today's NBA is he mentioned stars driving the league. And my friends that are around my age, I say, who are you a fan of? And they'll say, a buddy of mine likes the Jazz. I like the Spurs. A lot of millennials, I'll say, who's your team? And they'll say, I follow LeBron. They don't follow a team. A lot of kids, teens, maybe early 20s, they don't follow a team. They follow the player.
The player, yeah.
It's because how much things have changed. So, but as a Spurs fan, it is what it is. I mean, we've had Tim Duncan's whole career was essentially a dynasty with 6 NBA Finals appearances, 5 championships.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a miracle that happened because I was there when David Robinson there. He was still my favorite athlete of all time. And he just couldn't win in the playoffs. As good as he was in regular season, could not win the big one. Gets hurt, misses all but 6 games in 96 and 97. We're the 3rd worst team in the NBA. You guys know the story. We draft Tim Duncan from Wake Forest, number 1 overall. Boom, dynasty's born. So, I mean, I can't complain in the 30 years I've been a Spurs fan. I really can't. So if they miss the playoffs, people are like, aren't you upset? I'm like, I've only seen them miss the playoffs one other time in 30 years. I mean, I want to make the playoffs, but really?
Yeah, and see, I've never seen him miss the playoffs. I'm 28 or 29 now. Crap, I'm 29.
Oh, you youngin.
Hey, and also I was going to say, JD, I hope Luka goes south to San Antonio because he would look really good in the silver and black. he would look really good in the silver and black, and not that blue and whatever the crap that is.
I'd like him to come to Chicago. I think he'd look better in red, personally.
Luka's one of those guys I love watching him play because he always looks like he's having fun, he's having a blast playing.
He gets better. I feel like he gets better every game. I feel like he's getting better it's like he's leveling up. It's like every game he's leveling up, man. It's crazy. Like these tricks get easier. Anyway.
So, no doubt.
So I have one more question, and it's my fucking show. So I'm gonna end on a Tom Brady question.
Oh fuck!
Hell yeah!
Oh yay! Deflategate. I mean, Tom Brady.
Deflate these nuts. How about that?
What the hell?
So, Coach, I'm gonna let you go first. Does Tom Brady lead the Buccaneers on a deep playoff run? Now, deep playoff run. I'm saying final 6, final 4 teams. So conference title. I'm talking conference title, division title. That type of a deep playoff run. So, will the Buccaneers be one of the final 4 or final 6 teams in the NFC with Tom Brady, Gronkowski, Godwin, and Evans driving that team?
Which coach?
Coach plays.
All right. I do. I think at least the Buccaneers make it to the divisional round, and then once they get there, I mean, it's going to be some good games to watch because I think there's a lot of good football teams on the NFC side. I mean, with one in their division being the New Orleans Saints, I think, so. But I do, and I don't think it's all Tom Brady. But of course, I mean that's a big push. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I watched a lot of Buccaneers games, but I've looked into him a little bit and stuff. When you see Jameis Winston, I know he threw for 30 interceptions, but the guy also threw for 33 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. And I think was their record like 7-9, maybe 6-10. They've got weapons over there in Tampa Bay. And Tom Brady and putting a quarterback like Tom Brady with those weapons, and then the addition of Gronk. Now we'll have to see how he comes back as far as health, but let's don't forget OJ Howard, and they've got weapons, and I think they're trying to build upon that offensive line, and they've got a good young defense. I think Tom Brady's going to find a way. He's going to get this team, and it might not be pretty from the start, and we'll have to see. Do they get an actual off season? Do they get OTAs and things like that? Now, if they don't get OTAs and if they don't get a full training camp, they might come out even slower out of the gate because they need time for those stuff to gel. But if they gel's right, I could see the Buccaneers in the divisional round. Can we see them in the Super Bowl? That's another question. But they've got enough good pieces, and they've also got a really good coach that can get them there. So I think that it can be done.
Tom Brady, I tell you what I tell you one thing. I don't usually step outside of the realm of my New England sports, outside of the four. But I am going to do play-by-play for a Bucks and Saints game because I want to see Brady versus Breeze more than anything. And this year, we get it. The NFL fans as a whole get Brady versus Breeze not once, but twice. So, Goose, what do you got, man?
All right. So going off the Brady versus Breeze, it's going to be on because it's on Sunday Football in Tampa. It's also on the first week. It's on I think it's the Fox game of the week. So majority of the country is going to see Brady versus Breeze twice, maybe 3 times in the playoffs. Not Brady. Yes, I think definitely they'll make the playoffs with Brady. For one, we're adding a team to the playoffs. For one. Half the teams are going to make the damn playoffs now, basically. So, and plus, like Coach Blay said, look what Winston did last year. He threw over for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. I mean, if you look at that, that's a damn good year. It really is. But the 33 interceptions, which led them to be 7-9, they would have made if you'd have thrown 10 interceptions, they'd have made the playoffs easily. How far are they going to go? I guess it all depends on who they play in the playoffs. But if there's no fans, and for the hometown and the home crowd advantage, does it really matter where you play anymore? I'll say the cap is divisional round for Brady. I don't think he'll get past that. I think when you get to Seattle, the Saints, and
I don't think they'll be able to beat Seattle. I don't think they'll be able to beat Seattle.
But when you get to Seattle, Saints, and Frisco in the divisional round, I don't think they'll get past those teams. Depending upon who they play in the wild card round, because now only one team gets a bye. So the majority of the teams are going to play in that first week. So, but I definitely say that Brady will make the playoffs, barring any kind of injuries. And I think they'll probably win one playoff game. But I think that's going to be the max for the Buccaneers. So.
All right, Rich, what do you think, bro? The sports reaction.
I'm up next. All right, so the final 4.
Final 6. Are they the final 6 or final 4? So they have to make it to at least the divisional round.
Weird number to put because it's
at least divisional. So they have to go at least to the divisional round. That means they can't get knocked out in the first round. Or do you think they're one and done? Do you think they make the playoffs as a wild card and get knocked out?
Look, as a Giants fan, it hurts me to say it, but Brady is, he's the greatest of all time. Statistically, nobody can touch him. But
I bet that hurt. Did that hurt? Did that hurt a little bit? Did it hurt your soul a little to say that?
It would hurt if we only beat you once. So we have to. I'm the same age as Tom Brady. We're both going to be 43 going into the NFL season. You guys are mentioning what Jameis Winston did a lot. Yes, he threw for over 5,000 yards. He's the only member of the exclusive 30-30 club, 30 touchdowns and 30 pickles. He's also 26 years old, and Brady will be 43. That's 17 years difference. And eventually, Father Time is undefeated. We saw Brett Favre fall off a cliff immediately when he was playing with the Vikings. Peyton Manning was balling in Denver. Yes, he won a Super Bowl last year, but he was playing like this, 55 touchdowns, and all just dropped. I think he'll play well, and he's going to like his new weapons. Arguably, this is the best wide receivers he's ever thrown to, but he is going to be 43. And Gronk, I'll admit, he is a fun player to watch, even as a Giants fan. When he's out there rumbling, stumbling, and running people over like the human version of the Incredible Hulk, it's a blast. He hasn't played in a year, and I don't know if that's going to help him or hurt him because he is one injury-prone dude. If he was healthy his whole career throughout the Patriots, no argument that he's the greatest tight end of all time. But he's missed so much time. That being said, short story getting long, I think no doubt they'll make the playoffs. Final 6, yes. Final 4, I just don't. At this point in his career, I mean, we saw it last year. Bobby, as a Patriots fan, there was a point in Tom Brady's career, no matter what garbage you throw out offensively with him, he would find a way to make it work and make the Patriots win. And he couldn't quite do that last year. He wasn't bad, but he's not the same guy he was 5 years ago. Why? Because he's 42 and he's going to be 43, and all good things come to an end. He's going to play good enough to make the playoffs. He's not going to win the Super Bowl and Tampa Bay will make the Final Four.
Dude, I 100% agree. We were watching that Titan game, and the Titans were just the better. They were just on that night. They were just the better team. They were just the overall better.
the more physical.
Titans ran over y'all asses all game.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry was just,
they couldn't stop him, and then Vrabel just the defense from Tennessee that night was perfect. They played Brady. They played Brady perfect. They ate him up all night. The Titans front 4, front 7 got all sorts of pressure on him, and Brady. The one thing that throws Brady off his game throughout the years, Rich, and you know this because the Giants did it to him in both Super Bowls. If the front 4 can get to him, and you don't have to bring an extra blitz to get to him, he's going to be miserable. He's going to be miserable because if your front 4 can get to him, and the Giants did it to him twice. They did it to him twice, and they had a game plan and they executed it perfectly. They rushed him. They rushed him straight up from B gap to B gap. The guards and center, right up the middle of the field, and they did it to him all game, and he was miserable. Those 2 Super Bowls. Look at the facial expressions. Look at the miserable.
And one thing we need to also add, Bobby, and I forgot to when I was going on my rant there. Sorry, then I'll finish it with this. Is Brady. I'm not saying he was a system quarterback, but he has been blessed to be an absolute fantastic system, which had Matt Castle dropped into it, and the Patriots still went 11-5. He's going from that system in New England with arguably the greatest head coach of all time and fantastic offensive coordinator to Tampa Bay. Is he going to produce the same results as an old Tom Brady in a new system that he's going to have an abbreviated time to learn it? Again, I think that's working against him.
Yeah, and like Rich, to add on that, they have no off season. They're probably not going to have an off season to develop chemistry or anything like that, too.
You talk about system quarterbacks, and everybody says Joe Montana was a system quarterback because Steve Young did the same thing, with when he was a quarterback. I think it was 1990 when Steve Young got hurt. They brought in Steve Bono, and they went 10-6 with Steve Bono. So I mean, I think the system has a lot to do with quarterback play. Of course, weapons. I mean, when Steve Bono was a quarterback at San Francisco, he had Jerry Rice and John Taylor for football too. So I mean,
as a head coach, it's your job to put your quarterback in position to succeed. That's your job. To put the team in a position to succeed. So it's your job to develop a system to develop a system around him to set him up for success. Chase T66 in the house. I see you, Chase.
My boy.
All right.
Bobby, I got a question to ask you.
What's that?
Are the beers going down faster?
Yeah. I drank the second one in like 5 minutes. That's an issue.
Yeah, me too. They're going down faster.
So, Coach K, what do you got, brother? Last question. What do you got?
Well, I think it depends too. we kind of we hit on it before of can the offensive line protect Brady? Can they hold up? Because he's not going to scramble and make a play with his legs. He's not. I mean, he's going to be a statue back there, so they have to be able to protect him. The New England offensive line last year did not protect Brady very well, and he probably got hit more last year than he did, in his career. The second thing, does Tampa have a good defense so Brady can lean on if things aren't going well? And to me though, if any coach can develop a system and develop chemistry with a quarterback, it's Bruce Arians. I mean, he's the freaking quarterback whisperer.
He's a QB guy. He is.
I mean, he does such a good job with that position. If it was anyone else, I would have reservations. But since it's Bruce Arians, I trust Bruce Arians to put Brady in the right situation and put Tampa in the right situation to be successful. Now, saying that, I agree. I think they get to the last four. If the ball bounces their way, maybe to the but I think the ball has to bounce away a few times to get there.
I think it's all going to depend on the matchup. Because if they get matched up and they get like Seattle in the second round,
oh yeah,
I don't think they're gonna get past Seattle or San Fran in round two. I don't think they're that good. I don't think they could match up with those teams well.
And to me, I think the NFC is to me it's pretty loaded. Looking at the NFC and looking at the AFC's good. But
Bro,
I
the
think
AFC sucks.
Okay,
let's be honest. The AFC is
what, three teams?
Is a pile of burning trash right now.
They have the Ravens and the Chiefs.
It's the Raven.
And the Titans.
The Titans are in the mix too.
Well, we overpaid for Ryan Tannehill, so we'll see how that goes. But that's just me being negative.
Hey, if Ryan Tannehill takes one step forward, just one,
yeah,
one
you're right.
single
it's
step forward, because that team only lost like two guys in free agency. That's it.
But if you reverse back to the Miami Ryan Tannehill,
it's bad.
We're picking Trevor Lawrence in the first round.
Hey, Sin City Titan, my bad, dude. The Titans are in the mix. They are. And I'm telling, this is a huge if. If Tannehill manages to take a step forward and just progress just a little bit, they're gonna be in the final 3 or 4 teams again.
Yeah.
Because that team, the Titans are very lucky. They didn't lose much in free agency. Some of these teams got absolutely gutted in free agency in the AFC. The Titans didn't. They realistically didn't lose too much.
Yeah, and their one big need they lost was right tackle, and they filled it with a 6'6", 360-pound Behemoth. So
but also but losing Logan,
big hog molly. Yeah, like
I agree. But losing Logan Ryan didn't help either. That corner to try to keep up with the Chiefs.
Yeah, but you know what? I think they're going to be all right. I think they'll be okay.
They clearly it's came out. Logan Ryan has said it. The Titans didn't try to re-sign me back.
Yeah,
that's what he said. They wanted to get faster. Logan Ryan, of course, isn't one of your fastest corners out there. He's very smart and he's a great leader, but they wanted to get younger at that position. So
yeah,
and then I don't know where he's going to go, but Jadeveon Clowney is still hanging out there. And that would be a nice addition for the Titans.
You guys still have one person on that team that's a fucking just tank of an individual,
and he kills Jaguars.
If you still have Derrick Henry on that team, you'll be all right.
I trust Vrabel. I do.
And I like Mikey V as a coach. I like Vrabel as a coach. I like his attitude. I like the approach that he has. I do like a lot of different things that he brings to the table, and I think he's not afraid. Like, he wasn't afraid of Belichick in that game. He trolled him, for Christ's sake, at the last the last 4 minutes of the game. He called those
awesome.
2 timeouts, and how big do your balls have to be to troll Bill Belichick in Gillette Stadium?
Oh yeah, Belichick screaming and Vrabel is just over there laughing.
Yeah, he's laughing on camera on national TV.
Oh, major cojones.
Grapefruit.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I like Vrabel and I like Flores as coaches. Like, I think Flores is gonna do well in Miami, and I think Vrabel's gonna do well with the Titans. And I think the Titans will be back in some, whether they're back in the AFC title game, but they're definitely making the playoffs again. They're definitely going to be back in contention.
Oh yeah.
But so who's left? Who
JD.
hasn't gone?
JD.
Coach and so all right, JD. Right, JD. What do you? So do they Buccaneers? Do they make a deep playoff run? Do they have a shot? What do you think, bro? Hey, you're muted there, JD.
It's like my kids on the
Hear
Zoom
me?
call.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, sorry, that was weird. Must have pressed it. But I was gonna say, I think that the Buccaneers will make the top 6, the divisional round. Just from Brady's willpower and what you guys said earlier, if they can overcome Jameis Winston, well, not really overcome, but if they can win as many games as they won with Jameis Winston's 30 interceptions, then with Brady's efficiency, they should be able to win more. I think the other Coach K hit it right on the head when he said that the defense is going to be the X factor if they go ahead, if they go further than the divisional round. If they go further than the divisional round, it'll be because of the defense. Brady will get them to the top 6, but I think the team has to win the Super Bowl. It can't be Brady. Brady's like you guys said, he's too old.
Yep. But but that's all we got for you today, guys. Who do we got?
Coach Place didn't weigh in on this.
Did he?
Yeah.
We went all over the place.
What's that?
I think he did.
Yeah, I weighed
Did you
in
get
on
a
the
chance to weigh in on
Buccaneers.
Brady or
I
no?
think I was the first one.
Yeah, I thought he was the first one. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, but that's all we got for you tonight, guys. I appreciate all 5 of you hanging out with me for an hour and a half.
Man.
But
Thanks for having us, man.
it's
great.
Oh yeah.
I tell you one thing, guys. It's going to be the next probably week or 10 days is going to be very interesting because, like we've discussed off camera as well, time's running out for a lot of these time is running out on a lot of these leagues between logistics, like between getting their off season in, getting their draft in, getting ready for next season. It's time is definitely not the professional sports friend at the moment. They need to get a plan in place, and they need to get back going. Like it's the next couple weeks. I'm confident that we can get it back. I'm hoping that we can definitely, see some sort of live sport, or I'm probably gonna jump out a window at some point because it's just like I need something.
I feel you, man. You got to have the playoffs.
Hey, whoa, come on. Why you? Yeah. I'll throw you off the street. 18-1.
Never forget.
So, Bobby, there's one question. I mean, I don't think. What do you think the NHL? Hockey done?
Yeah. Yep. I think they're done.
Because where are they going to where would they play all their?
They're done.
games?
I think they're done.
Yeah. I think they're way overdue of calling their season a scrap. So.
But once again, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. What's up, Coach?
I think just the silence from the NHL says it all. Because
Yeah.
I haven't heard one
they're
thing
very
from the
silent.
NHL.
They're very silent. And it's in a word. Right. No word from them at all. So.
No. God damn.
You can't want to eat, man. cat's hungry. Feed your cat, man.
Diesel.
Dude,
The
he's
cat
biting my
looks
damn. He's trying to eat my microphone cord.
It looks like your cat's hungry, man. Look, he's hungry.
He's always
Yeah.
hungry. He's
He's
19
You're not feeding your
pounds.
cat, Bobby.
He's skin and bones, Bobby. Crap.
Skin and
Give
bones.
him something.
Dude, he's 19 pounds. That's not skin and bones.
He's
That's
19
bigger than some
pounds. Holy
dogs.
crap.
Yeah, you
cat's
can
hungry,
18 and
man.
1 this. How about that?
Got a 3-pound cat over here.
And Bobby, by the way, that is how many times we beat you. 1. Much
All right,
man.
guys. Once again, thanks to everybody who came on tonight. TSR, the Sports Reaction, JD, Coach K, Coach Plays, Goose. Y'all are awesome,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
I'm going to put their, after this video ends, guys, I'm going to go back. I'm going to put the links to all 5 of these guys' channels so you can go hit them up. Give them a subscription. They're all awesome content creators, and they're good friends of mine on YouTube. So once again, y'all, have a good Friday night, and we gone. Deuces.
Peace.
Gig 'em. See ya.